Okay, so welcome to day one. Today, for next few minutes, I'll talk about what programming language is, what is the purpose, why one should learn, right? You all have a clear-cut idea about what you want to do with by learning Python. Okay, just to reiterate with that, and then we'll talk about this website, python.org, where you'll find all the resources that we need to learn, okay, or master this topic. Okay, so first of all, okay, let's understand what is a programming language. Okay, so see, we are talking and we are here and talking among ourselves, and we are using a natural language, right? What we call English, Hindi, Telugu. These are all natural languages, okay, or human language, right? We communicate in these language. The machine obviously can't talk these languages, so machine can only understand what we call as 0 and 1, binary language. So binary is the language of machine. Okay, so by machine can only understand power off, power on. Okay, so so each unit, just like we have alphabets, right? A, B, C, D. Okay, each unit of language is called a bit, B-I-T. Okay, bit. So when you take a fan, for example, your fan is the simplest of all computer. Okay, so simplest computer where you give instructions to computer using switch off, switch on. So you have a switch, you you press it to on it, or for that matter, bulb or tube light as well, right? So you press it for on, you are allowing power to go, right? That becomes like one. And when you switch it off, power goes off, and that is a state 0. Now, when you put multiple bits together, okay, generally, 8 or 16 byte, these days 16 bit, that is called as 1 byte. Okay, so 8 bit is equal to 1 byte, and each instruction, each uh, each character of instruction that we give in computer is given as a byte. Okay, so if I type A, it takes 1 byte to store. And of course, when you say 1 kilobyte, 1 KB, what we call 1 KB is like 1024 byte. Okay, 1024 byte. Okay, it's called kilobyte. After kilo, you have megabyte, right? So that is 1024 into 1024. Okay, that is the number of characters that a megabyte can store. Again, if you multiply with 1024, you get gigabyte, GB, right? When you say 1 GB data, that means you are storing 1024 into 1024 into 1024, that many characters. Okay, and it goes on like that. Okay, so that's how machine understands. But we want machine to work for us, and we all know the benefit, right? Machine can do faster calculation, it can work 24/7. Okay, but you need to understand, you need to talk to it, right? Otherwise, if you are not able to give right instructions to your computer, computer will not give you right output. So, okay, earlier days, okay, we had when we developed computer, that was 60, 70 years back, we didn't have any programming language. We gave using what is called as um, you know uh, punch cards. So punch cards is to have holes and no holes. So if you hole was like if you allow the power to go through it or light to pass through it, it went as uh, one, value one. And when it was blocked, okay, when there's no light passing through it, it behaved as zero. Right? That's how we passed zeros and one to computer. Then people started developing a language. Okay. So when you develop a language, you need to develop what is called as compilers or interpreters. Right? Now, if let's say um, you want to go and meet your client, and client says that I only knows French, for example. Now, one option is that you learn French and you go. The punching cards was like that. You have to learn punch cards and you have to learn binary language, and then you go give instructions. But then if you have to write a story, if you have to have a bigger conversation, it becomes very difficult for us to learn binary language, right? You have to spend all your life to learn a language and then work with computer. Very difficult, right? So they said, okay, why not build something on top of that? Okay, so they kept building assembly language, which are so if you are able to communicate with computers with their language, with binary language, we call it as low level language. So low level language means the language that you are using or the instructions that you are giving is very similar to what machine has. Then we said, okay, let's develop something, higher than that. We cannot remember all these, like binary language is difficult to remember. So we said, okay, why not we develop what is called as mid-level language. Okay, so assembly programming was mid-level language where you had instructions, very minimal instructions like move, sum, count. Okay, and then you had to give, like, it was something in between English and the binary language. So I said, okay, let's start with assembly programming language. We will give instructions. So you have to develop, as I said, interpreter or compilers. So interpreters and compilers are your like interpreters. We all know interpreter, right? So if you have to speak French and to a French guy and I don't know French, I need to hire a French guy, right? A person who understands both French and English, right? So if someone who understands both English and French, then they can take my saying or what I'm saying, translate into French for the French person, and whatever French guy replies, it'll get translated back to my language. So, okay, so we call them as interpreters, right? So here also we call them interpreters and compilers. So there's a fine difference between compilers and interpreters. Interpreters will translate your code line by line. Your instruction that you give to computer, it gets translated line by line. Okay. And when you talk about compilers, they translate your entire stuff. Okay, so it's like this. Okay, so if I'm talking to a French guy, okay, if I hire an interpreter, so I will just say one line and interpreter will repeat that line in French. Again, I'll say second line, so on. Okay, but in compiler, okay, so this interpreter guy will wait for me to finish off whatever I'm saying. So I will tell my, whatever I want to say, it could be 5 lines or 20 lines. Then they start converting all the 5 or 20 lines back to French. Okay, then again they listen to what the French guy says and translate back into English language for us, right? So okay, so that's a difference between interpreter and a compiler. Okay, so now if you look at programming languages like Java, C, C++, they are all compiler based language. Okay, and our Python is interpreter based language. Okay, both of them have some advantage and disadvantage, but that's not really our main study that we are going to do. Okay, now what I wanted to understand for now is, like, when you say that I can program, I can do coding, you should know what coding means. So what is coding? Coding is like giving instruction to your computer. Okay, why should you give instruction to a computer? Because computer can do a lot of work and we want computer to work for us, isn't it? And it doesn't understand our, it doesn't understand our language, English language. So you need something like Java or C++ or Python or R or something like that to translate our instructions, the English instructions, into the machine level, which is binary language, get the output from computer and translate it back to us. So two-way process, right? It translates our commands to computer and it translates computer's answers back to us. So that's your interpreter versus compiler difference. And obviously, as I said, Python is a interpreter language. Okay, so we need to install interpreter. Okay, so if you have to work with Python, you need to install interpreter. If you have to use C programming language, you have to install C compiler. Right? So we say Java compiler, C compiler, but we say Python interpreter. Okay, because that's how it's been designed. Okay, and of course it has some advantage and disadvantage. Okay, but that's really not the main reason, right? Why we are studying Python. We study Python because Python is easy to learn. In fact, people who know C and C, C++, Java, people like Preeti will find it initially a little difficult to learn Python than somebody who has never done programming before. Okay, so it for 2-3 days, like, it will be a shock for you. How is it possible? It was not possible in Java. It was not possible in, C. We had to do these things to arrive at that. Python is very straightforward. Okay, so that's why, if you have not seen a Python code before, especially those programmers who come from other background. It's like first 2-3 days is like a shocker. I mean, they will not believe that, Python can be that easy. Okay. And this is to iterate the point that, Python is the easiest as of now, easiest of language to learn. And the reason Python became popular was because people who, who went to who were doing masters and PhDs from non-CS branch, right? Um, like your humanities, if they have to do some project on society, okay, geography, history, society, humanities. So they have to get data from large subject. And when they get all this data, they have to process and get some output, right? They have to find their analysis. And earlier they had to follow Java before Python was being used heavily. Other people had to do in Java, and that's when they figured out that Java is difficult language. You have to spend a month to learn Java and then start doing your work. And even then you are not sure, like you don't know your confidence level. Said okay, Python, which was being used in the lab by then, they said okay, this looks easy, and people started using that language. So even though, like, if people from different background, okay, they were able to learn within like 3-4 days or within a week. I'm telling you, within third day you'll be able to program. And it became popular. And of course these days it's used in automation. It is used in designing websites, web framework. It is used in machine learning. So obviously popularity of Python increased, right? So that's what, that's the purpose of programming language. Programming language is a software that will allow you to write an instruction for computer. So Python will allow you to write instruction, and computer will behave based on your instruction. Okay. So that's about programming language. And I just said you need to install interpreter. Interpreter can be installed from here. Okay, python.org. If you want to know more about Python, obviously you can go to about section here. Okay, download. Okay, if you have not downloaded, you need to download from here. Okay, so you have all releases, and it's an open source. Python is open source. That means you can see the code of Python. Originally, Python was written in C programming language. Okay, later people wrote with Java and .NET also. So in terms of speed, okay, performance, okay, your Python is not as fast as, let's say, C or Java or .NET, because they're written in those languages, right? So first it will be converted in those languages, then implemented. But with today's like advancement with hardware, right? We all probably, you'll have 8 GB RAM is common these days, right? So the speed is no longer a criteria. What is the criteria today? Today is the criteria of ease of using. Okay. Okay. You will not notice. Okay. If you are okay. So if you have to run Python in 10 years back, okay, same Python what we have today, and if you have to run it 10 years back, probably it wouldn't have been popular. But today it is popular because it is slow, but we don't realize it, right? With 8 GB RAM, you don't even realize that Python is slow. But it gives you such a um, such a ease of using it. Okay. Okay. So first thing you have to do is you have to download Python interpreter. So this is okay. Go to all release. You'll see here, download for Windows. If you want other versions of uh, Python, or if you want to use Python for some other operating system like Mac or something, you can go to full list of downloads, right? You can go to full list of downloads. Okay, but I would recommend you to use the latest version. Okay, so latest version is Python 3.11.5. So how does software versions are named? Okay, so if you see this, okay, there are three three numbers, right? 3, 11, and 5. So 3 is called version actually. Okay, it's called major version. Okay, so major version, okay, you don't change the major version that easily. If you make a big change, okay, that's when you will call it as Python 4 or Python 3. If you have Python 3 and let's say you make it totally change, okay, big change you make, total look and feel, totals, some you make the way it is working currently, okay, that's when you will say Python 4. Otherwise, you will say Python 3. And if you're adding features, basically, difference between Python 3.10 and Python 3.11 is the features. You would add some new features, but the way it works will be same. You'll add new features. So 3.11 will have new features, okay, compared to 5.10. That's called minor version, okay. So, most of the time you will see these two versions, okay, for software. Then Python also has third level. Okay, this is called release. Okay, okay, you have Python 11.5. So you might have had 11.1, 2, 3, 4. So if there are any bugs, if you improve existing workflow, okay, so let's say you added a code, later you found out there was a bug in it, okay, there's some problem, so they will and when you launch it, okay, and when you launch the market, to indicate that you have launched a new version, okay, you will add a minor change. So mostly 0.5 indicates that you have added some new, or you might have moved some code from some block to another block or whatever, right? So that is what we call as minor version 3.11. So anything more than 3.9, I would suggest you to install it. Okay, anything less than like 2.9 was sorry, 3 after before 3.9 was 2.9, right? And 2.9 had problems. Okay, sorry, 2.8. 2.8 had problems. What am I saying? Yeah, let me write it. So I'm talking about 3.8, right? So 3.8 did have some problems. So that's why I would say go beyond 3.8, okay, 3.9. And for learning purpose, you should download the latest version. So I would say go here and go to downloads and download the latest version, which is 3.11.5. Okay. So when you download it, okay, you need to download it just like any other software. You click on download, it will get downloaded. So you have to download it, obviously, right? So you can download it. And then you have to double click to install it. So you can install it like any other software. You can install it like any other software. Just double click on it, okay, and you install it. Okay. I don't want to install it for now. Okay, so are you guys ready? Do you want to install it? Okay, first tell me if you already have Python or not. Do you want me to talk about how to install it also? If you have not installed it before, you don't have any computer, then say yes, we'll do it.
No, it's not a big task. Okay.
Okay, so you're okay with it, right?
Yep.
Okay, and how about you, Preeti?
I am downloading it, sir.
Yes, let's download it. Okay, and what I'll do, if you're comfortable, I'll let you share your screen so that I can guide you on what to click, what to add.
Sure, sir. Once it downloaded, I will
Yes,
share
yes.
this code.
So while it gets downloaded, I can talk about some another software. Okay, I'll show you, okay, what you can do with this. And and you need one more software, okay, because the editor that it has, okay, is not as intuitive, or doesn't help us much. Okay, so we need to download another software, okay, like PyCharm. I use PyCharm. You can use PyCharm, VS Code, or notebook like what's that? Anaconda, right? Okay, you can download any of those software which will help you to run your Python program. Now, this software which I'm talking about, okay, the software which I'm talking about, they are uh, it's like advanced, you can say, Word document or Notepad. The advanced Notepad, they are like advanced text document, like Word document, which will help you to write your program, okay, in easy manner, okay, and it helps you. It helps by giving prompt, helping you to complete auto completion, and okay, finding errors and things like that. Okay, so that's why we will do some program without those software, and we will most of from tomorrow onwards, whatever we'll do, we will be doing on PyCharm. That's my favorite. I use PyCharm at work also, so I'm going to use that. But as I said, you can use any tool. Okay, use but one tool. Okay, VS Code, PyCharm. If you don't understand, use PyCharm itself. Okay. So when you are done, let me know. Okay, so if you want to install PyCharm, you can click on PyCharm download. PyCharm is by a company called JetBrains. So in fact, JetBrains is the company name. So you need to go to JetBrains here and click on. So when you click on this PyCharm download, okay, you will see PyCharm Professional. Okay, this is the paid one. Don't download this. If you scroll down, so PyCharm Professional is like, it's like blue color, or you can see white and blue. Okay. Or you download, I would say not or, but you download this one. Community edition is totally free. Okay, it does not have few features, but those features anyway we are not required. Okay, it's good enough to do Python programming, and this is totally free. Okay, so for training purpose anyway, I use this one, community edition, PyCharm community edition. So downloads, if you scroll down, second option, you will see PyCharm community edition. Download this. Okay, download this. And when you download this and you start programming, okay, you can see the power of PyCharm. I'll show you also. But before that, we'll talk about the software itself, right? Ruti, is it still downloading or are you done? Ruti, are you done or you're still downloading it?
Sir, 1 second, sir. Let me
Yeah.
check. Yeah, it will take more 3 to 5 minutes, I guess.
Okay. So of course, like, when you double click on it, it will get installed. Okay, just keep one thing in your mind. Okay, it'll ask you, okay, first screen only, there will be an option here, add to path. Okay, and you should click on it, and the link will get added to the path. The advantage of using that option, adding to path, is that no matter where your Python is installed, you can still call Python from anywhere. Okay, so what I mean to say is, if your Python file is in, let's say, D drive my programs, there you install and you have, install your PyCharm. Okay, or PyCharm, right? Or Python rather. Okay, so it is installed in a particular folder there. Now, to run that, you have to go to that folder and run, or you run it from your command prompt directly. Okay, when you type Python, it will know where the Python is because based on class path. So class path is like reference. Okay. So if I say I want to use Python, it will go and check in the class path where the actual location of Python is, and that location will be run. So one option is you use add to class path, or every time you run, you add the along with path. Okay. So again, don't worry about it if you don't understand. We will see it in some time. Okay. Did you understand about basic? Now we'll go down to see the installation and working of the tool. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay, great. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to share entire of my screen. You can see command prompt, right? And here I type Python, let's say. Okay, so Python is not here. Python is in some other folder, but here I went, I typed Python. Okay, it gave me triple angular bracket. Python.exe is not in C users HP. It is in some other folder. But since I gave the path, okay, it is able to pick where it is and run it. Okay, 1 second.
Sir, it's done.
Done, right? Okay, so you want to double click on it? Okay, double click on it, and before clicking any other option, just read them carefully. Whenever you're doing installation for the first time any software, you read all the instructions. Don't just click next. Okay, so when you double click on it, first option will be add to path, right down there. You'll see two options.
Yes.
One, make it
Use
available.
admin privileges when installing.
Sorry, what is that?
Use admin privileges
Yes,
when
use admin privilege.
installing.
Yes,
Yeah.
say yes.
What about the add to path?
Yes, you have to select that also.
Okay.
Okay, so if you say add to path, okay, that's when the path will get added to the class path. It will work without those things also, but adding to class path, kind of takes away the dependency of where your Python is installed.
So, do you want me to share the screen?
No, as long as you are able to select those two options, right? And then keep clicking on next. Okay, 1 second. One of
No,
the student
actually,
is
it's
calling.
not
1 second.
showing. Okay.
Okay, you want to share your screen? Okay, just try to share your screen. Okay, I've given you permission.
No, I'm not able to share the screen. Disabled.
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen. Try sharing.
No, sir, it's saying disabled share.
No, you shouldn't say. Because I have already given the permissions. You should be
Okay.
able.
Okay,
I think
sir,
you
you
should stop
stop
the
the share.
Oh, I
sharing.
should stop sharing, right? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I think. Yeah.
Is it visible, sir?
It is visible, but I'm seeing your Zoom. Yeah. Yes. Same option, right? Correct. You have selected both the option. Not the, Okay, you have selected both the options. Just click on next now. Yeah.
This is
Install now.
cancel
Okay,
also. This
install
one.
now. Install now. You already have one older version. That's what it says. That's why it's not giving next. It's giving you option install now or modify the older version.
Okay.
Okay. So I say install now because you already have one more version installed. Okay, see, disable path limit. Okay, click on that. Yeah. Say close. Okay, now you go to command prompt, run, type cmd. There. Yeah. cmd. Enter. Yep. Now type Python there. Python, just Python. Enter. Yes. So you see that? Okay. That means the installation is successful. Okay. And you got this triple angular bracket you see, right? Greater than side. This is
Yes.
called as Python prompt. Okay. Okay. So your Python is installed and you can write your program here. Okay. So I will tell you what to write and you write. Okay. So first thing you have to remember that Python is a case sensitive language. Okay. When you say case sensitive, that means, capital A and small a are different. Okay. Capital A and small a are not treated as it is. Okay. It will be treated differently. 90% of your commands are all lowercase. Okay. Only in some special case only you have some, capital letter, but almost all instructions are lowercase. Okay. So first I just said, okay, why it is called easiest of all programming language. I'll show you. So open the command prompt, no? What you just closed. Yeah. Yes. And type here print, all small, lowercase. print. Okay. Now print is a function. Okay. So functions are the special commands in programming languages which has a predefined meaning. Okay. So somebody has already written the function for print. Okay. Okay. So functions are like when I say run, for example. Okay. Now you already know the meaning of run. You've been taught about word run in your school. So you know what to do. If I say shut down, okay, let's say I'll say bye. Let's end the discussion today. So you know what it means, right? You will not ask me, oh, what does that mean? Okay. You already know what it means. So something like that. When I say print, okay, Python already knows what print means because okay, the developers of Python have already given instructions to Python about print. Okay, in later part of our course also, we will learn to create our own functions. Okay, but initially we will use the inbuilt function. Okay, we will use the functions which are already there in Python. Okay, people who have already developed it. So print, all the functions are always followed by simple bracket open and close. So print, simple bracket, okay, all the functions are followed by this. Okay, whatever we want to give as instructions to the functions, okay, will be given within this curly bracket. Okay, or not, sorry, not curly bracket, simple bracket. So whatever we want to tell to the to the print will be given here. Okay. So what do I want to say? I want to say to the print. Okay. So what does print do? Okay. What is the predefined meaning of print? Whatever you give to print will be printed onto your screen. So print is used to print the data or information on the screen. Okay. So when you book a ticket and when you get a message that your booking has been confirmed, the booking had been confirmed, the message is printed onto your screen by by print like functions. If it is Python, it has to be print. If some other function, it will be equivalent of that function in other programming languages. Okay, so your input your message that you see on your screen are all printed using function. Okay, so I will use here welcome to the session or something like that. Okay, so since I want welcome to the session to be printed as it is, remember, if you want something to be printed as it is, okay, like your booking is confirmed, so you will put quotation. You put quotation and close the quotation. Within this quotation, you have to type, okay, welcome to the session. You type welcome to the session. Okay, so what we did, we used print, which is a function which has predefined meaning of printing onto the screen. Okay, print is always followed by a small bracket, like simple bracket open and close. Within that, we want to give the text which we want to print. So if you want to print something as it is, you give that in a quotation. So that's why I have given quotation. Quotation, whatever you give, it will be printed as it is. Okay, as it is. Now, okay, you hit enter. What happened? What do you notice?
Yeah, it displayed the.
Right?
Yeah.
So whatever we gave in the print, okay, whatever we gave in the print is printed as it is onto the screen. Okay, this is job of your print. So we have just written our first instruction. Okay, so we gave our first instruction to Python. We're saying Python add, oh sorry, not add, welcome to the session. So we said it and it just printed whatever we said. Okay, write again print, small letter print. Again you write print. Okay, and print will be followed by bracket open and close, right? So yeah, and within this, okay, you say 5 plus 3. Now you hit enter. Okay, you get 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now again you say print, bracket open. Within that, you put quotation, just like the way you put for the first one. Yeah, within the quotation, you put 5 plus 3. And now you hit enter. Go to the end of the line. Yeah, now you hit enter. See the difference. So when you give quotation, okay, we are saying Python print it as it is. Okay, so when you say 5 plus 3 also, it is printing 5 plus 3 as it is. Quotation means as it is. You're saying Python, don't use your brain. Okay, whatever I'm saying, you do it. Okay, that is like quotation. Okay, so if you say welcome to the session, printed welcome to the session. You said 5 plus 3, printed 5 plus 3. But when we did not give quotation, we are saying to the Python, use your brain. Use your brain, right? So when we don't give in quotation, then Python started thinking, what should I do here? Okay, what does it mean? 5 plus 3 means, okay, it is 8. So that's why it has evaluated and gave you the value. So when you don't give the quotation, it tries to evaluate. If it is able to evaluate, obviously it'll give you the answer. If it is not able to evaluate, you'll get an error. like that, value is not defined or whatever. All right. This is simple programming, okay, which you can download and start using it. But this command prompt is not as convenient to use like some of the tools that are there available here. So can you go to JetBrains? You can type PyCharm download for free.
I have already downloaded it.
You already downloaded it? Okay.
Yeah.
So you can use any of those. Yeah, great. Now I want to double click and start. Okay, it's simple. Okay, just double click on it, start. Okay, let it install. Say next. Okay, this is where it will be installed. Say next. Okay, say next.
What to put this?
You can put, yeah, add first one. Yeah. Okay, it just tells you where should you put your bin folder. Okay, let's say install now. Okay, so I told you PyCharm, okay, is not a it's you know, it's not a Python related stuff, but of course it understands Python language and it able to find any mistake, or it'll help you to program. We call it as editor. So when you type something editor, and if you make grammatical mistake or spelling mistake, it does underline and tell you, right, there's a mistake here, right? Same thing this does. Okay, if you make any mistake, it will it'll show you that, you know, that you made a mistake and fix it. Okay, so it does that. And also it has other features like auto completion and things like that. Okay, so let it complete.
Finish.
Oh, yeah, say later. Okay. Now launch your PyCharm.
Where can I find that, sir? Where can I find that?
Double click on that community edition, that is second option, right?
This
Yeah,
will install
yeah.
again, I guess.
Oh, you have already installed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then go to programs and run it. Go to programs and run it. Yeah, we have already, just now we have installed. Go to programs and run it. Say continue, no.
Continue.
No. Go to run and type PyCharm. Okay, in search, you type PyCharm there down below. Yeah, PyCharm. PY. Yeah. Okay. Or go to Windows that you see Foursquare, click there.
Where, sir?
Yeah, you see that Windows Foursquare, no? Program files below.
Can I search it here? Or
No. Go to program files. No, you can't be searching every time, right? Go to program files. Where do you see program? Where do you open Excel, Power BI, or anything? You go to
okay.
Foursquare.
Okay, Windows. This.
No, the
This
first
is
option.
the one
Yes, that's
recently
the
added.
yes. Click on it. Say
Don't send?
don't send. Yeah.
Okay, new project.
Yes, new project.
So we can give any name here, right?
Yes. Okay. And see, the reason why I told you to install Python first, okay, and then Python, you can install PyCharm first also, okay. It doesn't have to be that Python has to be first, okay. You can install PyCharm first and then Python. Advantage of installing Python first is that when you create the Python location, and now when you try to create, uh, you know, um, the script here using PyCharm, it will automatically be linked to the Python file because it knows where the file is. Okay, it automatically picks from the paths. That's why putting in path is important. Otherwise, we have to manually give path to these vendors. Okay, so that's why we install Python first. Now we're installing PyCharm. PyCharm will find the home. You see their new environment using. It already
Yes.
found the where down there base interpreter. Base interpreter it figured out. Okay, this is what you had just installed it. Okay, see user app data. Okay, and it is able to figure out where you install it, and without even taking help from you, it showed the Python path. Okay, so good. Everything looks good. Now click on create. Okay. Okay. Now. Okay. Now yeah, click on Python project. On the left side, you see Python project, right? Okay. Now this is your Python project, which is open. Now right click on Python project. Right, Python project, main, yeah, right click on it. Or you can click on file new also, or you can click right click, say new. New, you say Python file from below third option. Okay, what happened?
Not this one.
No, I don't, yeah, new
Is
file,
this the
but
correct one?
no, wait, hold on. Cancel. Escape, press escape. Okay, right click on main.py. You see the Python file main.py, right click on it. Below, yeah.
Here it is, Python file.
Click on it. Yeah, you see this Python file there. That means you have given the Python home correctly. So it might take some second to pick it up. So when you install it, maybe just waiting for a minute is good idea. Then you're doing it. Give it a name. Give it a file name. So this will be your program name. When giving program name, make sure that you don't give only number. Don't give space. So you can say practice 1, P1 or something. Anything that you want to name it. Okay, now hit enter. Okay, so you have practice 1, and this is the file that we created. And you can create multiple files, and we will write our programs here. Okay, so in practice1.py, go and type all the 3 commands that we have written before, right? Print welcome, and then print 5 plus 3, and then print quotation 5 plus 3. Okay, just type those 3 commands here.
All at a time?
Yeah, all at a time. So here you don't have to, run, what do you call, you don't have to run every line. Okay, and when you type P, okay, hit enter. Okay, now you type PR, type just PR. See, it is giving you recommendation. So there is no chance for you to forget, oh, what should I give here? Right? You won't be able to forget also. If you forget the spelling, it will show you. It will tell you that that you have written, chance of spelling mistake, not able to remember the exact function, all those things will go away. Okay. So this is how you create a file here. Delete that P also. Now, how do we run it? So you do right click on the file name anywhere. You see, on the top of the thing. Okay, they're also going to do right click. Okay, no, not there. You practice one that you see, practice one.py.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the one.
yeah, here also you can do, correct. So go and click on run. Yes, run. Okay, so see down there below,
Yes.
you can see the output.
Yeah.
Okay, so here this is not like your um, uh, command line kind of thing where you hit enter and it gives you output. Now see, initially doing their programming is better because you want to practice, you want to learn. Okay, so to learn we have to do the hard way, then only you'll be able to remember. Okay, so you can do it. But let's say after a couple of days when you understand a little bit of programming, okay, then I would suggest you come here and do the programming from editor. Here, as I said, you don't have to just type PR and it'll give you the suggestions. You don't have to type entire thing. Okay, any error is there, it'll show the error immediately. There's an error here, right? So these things are very important for running your program files, right? Okay. So this is how, okay. Any questions so far?
No,
Okay.
sir.
I've told you how to install Python. I've told you how to install
Yes.
PyCharm in case you need it. I've told you how to run basic program, how to run it, how does PyCharm work, how does Python work, right? Okay. Now give me the control, okay?
Sure.
Yeah. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Venkat, are you good with it?
I'm good.
Okay. You need to stop share, okay? And I
Okay.
can. Okay. Okay, so this is not the website I wanted to show you. Okay, we are back on Python. So this is about downloading and installing and working with files. Then, okay, documentation. You want to learn about, okay, all the features, functions of Python. Documentation. It is a very good documented language. That means you'll find good documentation in this. Okay, so you can actually go and check, and I'll take you maybe tomorrow itself. I'll take you through this. Okay, after we do a couple of examples, I'll take you through this. Okay, so these are two important files from our point of view, two important links. Okay, from our point of view. Of course, there are multiple other links, and we will explore. Like you have on top, you have PyPy, you have jobs. Okay, you have PSF. Okay, you have community. Community is when you have some questions to ask or you want to answer some questions, so people will go and post it there in the community, and you can go and answer them or somebody else will answer you. PyPy is called Python index. Okay, libraries that we are going to use, right? Which libraries are part of which um, which version, okay, or where it is used. Or like, for example, I talk about print. You want to know more about print. Okay, so print is called documentation. That's what you'll get in docs. But if I want to learn something which are doing advanced thing like data frame in Python. Now, if you want to do data frame in Python, you need a library which will support data frame. So Pandas is a library which supports data frame. So Pandas is added to PyPy. So when it is added to PyPy, it becomes easier for us to find and use it. So we'll talk about PyPy. We'll talk about your packages, functions and packages. Then you have jobs. You can actually go and search for jobs over there. Documentation, I told you what it is. PSF stands for Python Software Foundation. Okay, so developer of Python, Guido van Rossum, he created a foundation. Okay, and job of foundation is to carry out everything related to Python. For example, maintaining this website itself, Python.org website itself, is responsibility of PSF. Okay. So of course, PSF will get a lot of fundings also from Google and other companies which uses their product. So it's all based on public funds. Okay. So um, it conducts conferences, it maintains this website, it maintains what should be added to PyPy and what should not be added. Let's say you and I also go and create a package. Should it be added to the PyPy? So that PSF committee will decide. If they find algorithm suited, it will add it to the PSF. Make sense? All good so far, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we do have few minutes. I'll just show you a couple of examples. Okay, so I'm going to PyCharm now. Okay, so back to my screen. You should be able to see my screen. Okay, so what happened? I told you that print is a function that will print whatever we give. Now, if you give junk in quotation, it will give you output as junk. Okay, but okay, but now if I don't, I do this one and I give junk without quotation. Now, when I give without quotation, that's when it says that I don't know what you mean. That means the name or the content that you gave here is not defined. So I don't know what you're trying to do. Okay. So quotation will print as it is. And if you don't give quotation, it means you're asking it to use its brain. Okay. You can give two things together. What I mean by that is, okay, you can give like 5 plus 3 equal to, okay, in quotation, and then I can give 5 plus 3 outside quotation. Okay, now since these are two different sentences in a way, okay, or two different blocks, we need to add them together using comma. Okay, so print 5 plus 3 equal to quotation means print as it is, comma is parameter, second parameter is 5 plus 3. So it will print first and then second. So see here, 5 plus 3 equal to as it is from this quotation that we have given here, right? 5 plus 3 equal to, we got exact same thing here. And this is, okay, okay, so you get 5 plus 3 as it is. Then you have comma, and then we have given 5 plus 3, right? So 5 plus 3 is evaluated as 8 automatically by the Python, right? We don't need human being to do that for us. So you get, 5 plus 3 as 8. So 5 plus 3 equal to, and then you give 5 plus 3, 8. So here I have combined two options that you have learned with quotation and without quotation. I have combined them and formed one single output. Okay. Now I'll talk about one important concept and then we will end the day for today. Okay, today I want you to go install and just practice this much. And then, of course, tomorrow we will spend more time on trying to understand the print function. We'll talk about different like variables and operations on variables and role of variables there. Okay. So today, for now, I'll talk about variables. Okay. So variables are the name that we give, okay, to store temporary variable. Okay. That's why we call them as variables, not constant. Variables have different value. Now, here if I say number 1 equal to 5 and number 2 equal to 3, what am I doing? I'm saying take a variable num1, take a variable num1 and let's assume or let's assign a value 5 to it. Okay, it means let's assume, okay, let's assume num1 in this case. Num1 is a variable. Let's assume num1 is equal to 5. Similarly, when you say num2 equal to 3, that means I'm saying assume num2 equal to 3. Okay. So now you have two variables. And if I say here print num1 plus num2, what will you get? Num1 is 5 and num2 is 3. So you'll get 5 plus 3, 8. Okay. Now, variable means I can change the value. I'll say num1 equal to 21. Now, when num1 equal to 21, now if I say print num1 minus num2, and now when you run it, okay, 5 plus 3 is 8. So you get 8 here. So num1 is 21. So num1 is now no longer 5. From line number 7, num1 becomes 27. So 27 minus num2 is 3. 27 minus 3 is it 21? No, it's 24, right? So 24 minus num2 is 3. So 24 minus 3 is? All right. So we'll stop here for today. Okay. Tomorrow we will take this example print and we'll go forward. Any questions on so far what we have done?
No, sir.
Okay.